Thank you for attending the ribbon cutting ceremony for the Linneman Street project. Thank you, my friends, neighbors, local District 34 Henking officials, and for our local governmental officials from Cook County and Northfield Township. I've lived in this park lived around this park for most of my life. My kids went to school at Henking. I live literally, a couple hundred feet away from here. So I've been in this park most of my life. I grew up about a quarter mile from here, so I played in this park as a kid. For many years, I've seen how this sidewalk was a little kind of outdated. As most of my friends and neighbors will recall, the sidewalk was almost on the street, and the intersection, you can see, is right there, and it led to the middle of the driveway there. It was a little, I think not so good for the little kindergartners and the first and second graders that go to Henking, or the kids that play Little League. And over the years, with the moms and dads lining up, and the buses lining up, and the garbage trucks lining up, and the UPS trucks lining up along here, the roadways got pushed down, and the water would collect on the south end. And in the wintertime, we live in the Chicago area, so that turned to ice and snow. It got pacted, and so they're waiting in ice, and the start and stop. It's like rush hour traffic here. There's been a couple accidents, a little touch and goes. The sheriff will probably attest to that. I became highway commissioner a little over 5 years ago, and I thought this is definitely on my bucket list of things to do. I think it was very important, not only for, I live around the corner, but it is for everybody. We got, how many kids? I'm not sure how many kids go to Henking now. It's 1,000. What's that?
429.
429. There we go. That's a lot of kids coming and going. A lot of moms and dads dropping off cars. So at least probably 400 cars, and how many staffers are driving back and forth every day. So I began this project in 2018. And we went through the process of planning and what do we want to do, what can we do. We had to mark out where there's some high tension power cables buried underground. There's some sanitary, and there's water going across here. So there's a lot of stuff in the ground. So we had to figure out where all that was and plan for it. So we began this process, and it wasn't easy. What do you do in all process? You need the dollars, the cash. So we had to figure out where we're going to come up with the cash. So I budgeted for some of it. We reached out to some local officials, and our Cook County Commissioner, Scott Britton, was very helpful in us getting through that process. And we were able to get a $50,000 grant from Cook County. That certainly helps out. $180,000 now comes down to $130,000, which is very nice. We then reached out to our engineering staff. Mark Toll is standing over here. He's from Dan Creaney Engineering. He's the gentleman that actually did the plan, and you can't have a project unless you have a plan. So, and that plan is a little bit more in depth than just drawing a couple lines on a map. There's heights and utilities and all of that stuff. So Mark did a great job putting this plan together. Someone asked earlier about why we didn't have it go all the way through, because we found out there's some 240 volt wires running underneath the ground over there. That's a little tenuous when you run into a shovel. I also like to thank District 34 and the Village of Glenview. We reached out to them, and we gave them our plan was, and they were instrumental in going through what was good, what was bad, and hopefully we got all the good and none of the bad. After we did all this, we had a little thing kind of put a hiccup. COVID-19 came, and basically everything kind of ground to a complete halt. So that was a little bit of a process. We started in 18 and we completed in 21. So you kind of see that COVID-19 had a nice little put a little speed bump in our activity here. But we were able to get a bid process out, and we had Crawford Construction come out, and they did a wonderful job. I mean, they put the sidewalk in. The sidewalk's beautiful. We have ADA I like to call them speed bumps, but they're really not. They're warning strips for people who are visually impaired. Most people think this is for like icy stuff, but it's not. If you're visually impaired, you have the wand that runs across, and as soon as you touch that, it rumbles, and it lets them know that there's a little bit of an intersection coming. After all this, and a lot of emails and going back and forth and standing here and pointing in different directions, we now have a modern sidewalk where safe areas for moms and dads to walk their kids to school, walk their kids to Little League games, and to play in the park. We have a modern drainage system, and you can see there's some new. My neighbors will attest that there's some new drainage. And we had a pretty decent sized rain a couple days ago. There's no large amounts of water sitting that all got picked up. There's a couple puddles here and there, but that's typically you can't get rid of all the water. I'm very proud of this project, and I'm really proud of being involved with all the people that were involved in 34 Cook County, Dan Crean's office, and Clawfoot Construction. I think we did an awesome job. If I can call Nancy up, we're going to get a little ribbon to cut so we make it official. I don't see where Nancy went. Oh, there he is. I'm looking into the sun, which is great. The sun on my face is nice. I was at a Bears game.